What is going on, everyone? It's your boy Scrub Supreme, coach of the Florida Dirges, bringing you week 7 of the UNPL. This week we're playing against the Toronto Tinkatinks, coached by BreadPudding. For this battle, it's Choppleberry and Empoleon with Grass Knot to kind of counter Palafin, and it lives a close combat with Choppleberry. Sinistra with Weakness Policy and Heat Proof was supposed to be for the Heatran that I was expecting. Clefable with Life Orb, it was kind of an offensive, annoying Clefable this week. Ceruledge, Mienshao, and Gliscor. And Bread brought Palafin, Screamtail, Braviary, Hisui, Dragapult, Mamoswine, and Heracross. That Heracross is probably my biggest fear, but it's okay. We're going to go ahead and lead off with Mienshao. Kind of scout for what he could be leading and U-turn out of there. Good luck to Bread, and I'm hoping that we can keep our current wing streak alive. Also, my Sinistra has Trick Room because it was supposed to be Heatran pops its Weakness Policy, and then Trick Room. I Trick Room up, and Sinistra kind of just goes crazy. But no Heatran, not going to be able to go through with that plan. But it's fine. So he's going to go ahead and lead off with the Palafin. I'm expecting him to immediately switch out to get Palafin into its hero form. And so we're just going to go ahead and hit U-turn. See what he's going to swap into. Because he's either going to flip turn here or just hard switch. So either way, and opts to hard switch out into his Screamtail. So this is going to take some chip, which based on that damage alone, I'm pretty much expecting it to be full Fizz Def Screamtail. Which Empoleon should be able to deal with. I'm going to go out into the Gliscor, see if I can set up my hazards, because this thing really doesn't do a whole lot to a Gliscor. There's leftovers. We're going to pop off our Toxic Orb, start our healing process. I had to write down what mons he brought. I'm kind of debating. I'm going to go ahead and swap out into the Sinistra to see if I can get it popped off. Just because I'm expecting him not to stay in here, or yeah, that was pretty much my thought. I wasn't expecting him to stay in here, so I was just going to double out into Sinistra to hopefully, start up with my Trick Rooms nonsense. As he goes and opts to set up his Stealth Rocks. So it's kind of a hazard Screamtail. And unfortunately with leftovers it's brought back to full. I'm just trying to remember what were the 6 he brought again. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up my Trick Room. Make myself faster than it. I probably could have Scalded or Strength Sapped or something, but I wanted to get the Trick Room up so that way I make sure my Sinistra outspeeds. As he goes for the switch and to his Braviary. I do not like Sinistra staying into this Braviary because it takes probably a good well-timed Hurricane hit to hurt So I'm kind of calculating to make sure I can live a Hurricane with which raw Hurricane. It does have the chance to miss, but I don't really want to try my luck, so I'm just double checking for sure. I don't think I have too much I could swap into a raw Hurricane, but except Clefable. We're gonna go ahead and swap out into Clefable. Probably to start up with the. It doesn't really take too well to a Moonblast. Thankfully the move missed. I'm kind of debating whether I want to cripple this thing, Moonblast it, or set it with Calm Mind, because once I start setting it with Clefable, it kind of also does damage, as we've known what Clefable can do from week 1. But I'm thinking dealing damage the most is the most optimal play right now, just to good lord, that did a lot. And we get this attack drop. Hurricane isn't going to do much, and unfortunately he gets another miss, but that's what happens when Hurricane's outside of rain. And I'm thinking, should I finish it off now, Calm Mind, make sure I live anything else this thing can throw at me, or I could easily Thunder Wave it, but with Trick Room out, and the Trick Room I don't want to Thunder Wave it because I don't want it to be slower than me. So we're going to go ahead and Calm Mind as he swaps out into his Palafin. So Calm Mind's not going to really do much for Clefable, because Palafin still does a chunk to Clefable. But it's fine because we do outspeed it. I'm going to go ahead and Moonblast and get some extra damage on this Palafin, because this thing was one of the things on his team that I was fearing the most. And wow, Life Orb Clefable goes crazy. Wave Crash is going to damn near take it out. But luckily also Palafin has next to no health. I'm gonna go ahead and go out to Sinistra to expecting close combat or something. But also Sinistra gets its weakness policy broken. So that's always a plus. We're going to go ahead and Gotcha, but we're slower because Trick Room did run out. So unfortunately, Sinish is going to go down, which is sad because I, again, wanted this Mon to pop off, but it is what it is. I'm going to go ahead and I don't know what my best option would be here, because Jet Punch exists and I don't really want to take too much damage from a Jet Punch, because Palafin, even though it has low health, is scary. We're gonna go ahead and go to Mienshao. Okay, you can still outspeed it, and we're gonna go ahead and I want to say we U-turn. Yeah, U-turn, gain momentum, and hopefully take out this Palafin, because we do have Regenerator, and so anytime we deal damage to, oh, he swaps out. Anytime we take damage from rocks, it's just going to get healed whenever we return. So he's going to go out into Screamtail again, so U-turn's not going to do a lot, but that's fine. Chip is chip until it gets it back from leftovers, but it's okay. So now I'm thinking I can go out into maybe Cerule Edge to burn this thing, to slowly chip it away. I can go into Empoleon, because what can Screamtail really realistically do to Empoleon here? I had brought Agility and Empoleon with Torrent this week instead of competitive because he didn't really have any mons to activate competitive. So I can just keep using Empoleon, maybe Agility up until it's on Torrent range, or say I got close combated from a Palafin and Empoleon lives it with Choppleberry, Torrent activates, and then Surf just kind of cleans up from there. A boosted Surf does, but right now I'm kind of debating, do I want to go ahead and set up here or just deal some damage? Because once Empoleon gains, I think, what, +2, +4 from Agility, it outspeeds his entire team. Oh, but I do opt to go Surf, specifically for extra damage. If he swaps, he swaps. If he doesn't, Screamtail's going to take some damage. So he does decide to swap into his Heracross. So Heracross is going to take a decent chunk from this Surf. And yes, a decent chunk indeed. That's what Max Spatak Empoleon does. But I think with Heracross, his Terra types were fighting Darksteel. I was expecting Terra fighting close combat, so I went and swap out. Sorry, into Gliscor to take whatever hit comes our way, and he goes for the Terra. He Terra Darks for the knockoff, so it's good play for Gliscor because Gliscor doesn't really need its item anymore considering it's already poisoned. As he does knock off, Gliscor is going to take a good chunk and loses Toxicor, but now Gliscor is not going to take much from future knockoffs considering it has no item. I'm now debating, should I just go ahead and set up spikes? Or I could have just dual wing beat it or any kind of attack move, but I'm going to go ahead and take this moment to set up spikes because I was expecting him to swap out. So it's 3 spikes and 2 Mamoswine. Now I'm not sure if this was like a Focus Sash Mamoswine set or not, but I do know Icicle Crash does exist. Not Icicle Crash, Ice Shard does exist, so Gliscor's kind of in danger. So I'm going to go ahead and swap out into Clefable here. Go ahead and sacrifice Clefable because it's not really going to do anything else for me with it being that low and slow. So kind of scouting. Unfortunately, we don't get a whole lot of information with how low Clefable is because he goes for the Icicle Crash. But at least I know if he swaps or goes into the same move again, there's a chance he's choice locked. So we're going to go ahead and go into Ceruledge because it's going to live. It should live. Anything, at least one. But also really don't have anything for a Mamoswine. We're going to go ahead and go for the Will-O-Wisp. Hoping to at least burn it so that way I have a fighting chance on living an Earthquake or Ice move for Gliscor, Earthquake on Empoleon, etc., etc. So he does opt to switch out back into Heracross, so Heracross is gonna get burned as long as Will-O-Wisp hits, which, hooray, it does. Now Heracross is very much less threatening. We are also Sugarberry on Ceruledge, so we guarantee live at least one knockoff or dark move. But I'm gonna go ahead and I think Bitterblade should kill it here. But I don't really want to risk it too much because I could still use Ceruledge specifically in the back. I'm going to go back out into Gliscor here. Because again, I don't want to take too much damage on Ceruledge. And I'm expecting yet another knock. But he goes to set up his own spikes. I don't have any hazard removal this week. I mean, unfortunately, one of the downsides to my draft is my only hazard removal is Sandslash. But it is what it is. I'm gonna go ahead and Earthquake, because if he swaps out into not Heracross, Heracross is already on the field. If he swaps out to Mamoswine, it's gonna take a lot. Heracross is gonna faint here. Palafin's gonna faint here. My game plan is something's gonna take damage or get knocked out. Because I think I want to say Screamtail is probably the only thing he has that will live this, except for Braviary, of course. But he goes out into Palafin, sacrificing Palafin here to the Gliscor. So with Palafin down, that is one threat out of the way. He's going to go Screamtail. Screamtail's going to take some spikes damage. I could set up another layer of spikes here. So that way I think Heracross goes down when it comes back out. But I'm going to go ahead and U-turn. This is a very physically defensive Screamtail. I'm going to go back out into Empoleon. Because now that Palafin's down, really isn't a whole lot to threaten to Empoleon, except for maybe Heracross. Now my game plan is I could easily set up an Agility and then outspeed the rest of his team, because he doesn't typically stay in with Screamtail, probably expecting a Flash Cannon, which I did not bring this week, because we brought Grass Knot for the Palafin. But with +2, I believe we outspeed everything except for like a Dragapult. So with one Agility, we outspeed his entire team minus Dragapult. So that kind of paves the way for Empoleon to win here. But he opts to go for the Wish, Protect, Strat. But it's fine because we're not attacking, we're setting up with Agility. Now I'm thinking, maybe I just do it again, because then I outspeed everything on his team. With me outspeeding everything, Ice Shard's not going to hurt Empoleon too much. So I can just surf onto Mamoswine, take that thing down. He's going to go for the Wish. I want to say with where everything's at, minus Mamoswine and Dragapult. Oh, I want to say Empoleon should one-shot everything minus that Screamtail. As he goes, his Braviary is going to go down to the Surf. There really is not a whole lot he can do here for the Empoleon. Dragapult's going to come in, take some spikes damage. I'm going to go ahead and Ice Beam. And it's, unfortunately, we do get the lowest possible roll, because I believe that Ice Beam was supposed to kill here, and he hits the Will-O-Wisp. So now Empoleon is put on a timer because we don't have leftovers this week. We brought the Chople Berry, like I've said. So Empoleon's on a timer, but that's fine because hopefully everything still can work out. Empoleon can still pull off the win, at least break everything enough to I can clean up with, say, Ceruledge or anyone else. but it's fine. Empoleon's going to take down the Dragapult here. And he's going to go back out into his Scream Tail. Oh, he could go, yeah, he goes back out into Scream Tail. And here it's kind of going to go on a repetitive, him going Wish Protect, just kind of stalling out my Empoleon's life. So I'm going to fast forward this a little bit because it does last a long while. As you see, he goes for the Wish. Next turn he's going to go for the Protect. Empoleon, since I don't have Flash Cannon, it's not going to knock out this thing. So alright, now unfortunately, Empoleon's going to go down here to its burn. Oh, it was rough. Because if I brought Flash Cannon, Scream Tail would have died. But I over-feared for Palafin, so I brought Grass Knot to hopefully try and counter it. But that's what happens when you overthink things and you over-prep. That was on my part, so it's all good. But unfortunately now that also means all my special attackers are gone. So this Scream Tail is kind of just going to wall my entire team. Unless Ceruledge here can kind of clean it up, but the Wish Protect is such a useful strategy, but man, does it make games long. No disrespect to my opponent, it's just because he's been playing very well this game. We can go out into Heracross. Heracross is going to go down to Ceruledge. Bitterblade's going to give me a little bit of health back, but obviously not a whole lot. But that's fine. We'll take any knockouts we can get. Mamoswine's going to come out. And kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place here because I'm not going to live in Earthquake here or possibly an Icicle Crash, but I don't really have anything else that can, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and Bitterblade here. Hope for the best. Bitterblade's going to go faster, obviously, but not bring the KO. If he goes for the Earthquake, Ceruledge does go down. But knockoff, but with it being that low, Sugar Berry wasn't going to matter, so Ceruledge is going to go down here. We're going to go out into Mienshao. I'm thinking maybe I can close combat this, knock it out, and do something. We did bring Terra Flying this week in case he brought Terra Fighting Heracross, but also it kind of made the most sense for against his team. But he's going to swap out into Scream Tail. Scream Tail is going to take next to nothing to this close combat. That's very laughable damage. I don't think I was expecting the Scream Tail to be brought this week, so I kind of overshot it. But I'm gonna go ahead and swap out the Gliscor. Maybe try and deal as much damage as we can. As he goes for the Wish. I don't have really anything that can deal a whole lot of damage. I think all of my moves from Gliscor is going to probably deal max 20% to this thing. But it's fine. We play the game until it's over. Earthquake's gonna do laughable damage, although that did more than a close combat did, so that's kind of interesting. Scream Tail's Wish came true. Poison Heal's gonna heal me up. We're gonna go ahead and I guess just do it again, because that's really our only option here. Because like I said, I have 2 physical attackers left. This thing is fully physical defensive, so we're just playing the game out until it just withers away. I'm thinking here, should I go for the spikes just because? I'm gonna go for the spikes just because. I think that's what, 2 layers of spikes on the field. And go back from spikes to Earthquake. Earthquake's gonna do nothing, especially when he has Wish, but Dazzling Gleam. Right now I'm thinking Earthquake or Dual Wing Beat, because what's going to do more damage? I think it was Earthquake, but right now I'm thinking, is there any way that I can pull through? Hoping for a crit. But you know how it goes, when you hope for a crit, you don't get it. And I'm hoping for a crit. He ends up getting the crit. So Gliscor's gonna go down here, bringing me just me and Chow left. And I'm thinking my best play, and really my only play here, is to live another turn. I just Terra Fairy, or not Terra Fairy, Terra Flying, and my only move that does the most damage to it is gonna be Terra Blast. So we're gonna live a Dazzling Gleam with Terra Flying, because we are Choice Scarf, so whatever we lock into, and obviously Terra Blast isn't going to be enough to knock out the Scream Tail, but at least we live 1. Dazzling Gleam, because still hoping for that crit. That crit will save me. And no crit. And he goes for the wish again. So now it's pretty much just over at this point, because once the wish heals itself, I'm not going to be able to live multiple. So this is unfortunately going to be GG to Bread. It was a good game. So yeah, go ahead and check him out. And check out the rest of the coaches as always. Next week we play against Onesie, who is at a record of 5-2, so I'm pretty excited for that. So yeah, we'll just have to better luck next week for us. BreadPudding here is actually, at the time of this recording, ranked 2nd. So in our division. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and call it at that one. I will catch y'all next week, and I hope y'all enjoyed the battle. Peace.
Game